Well, good morning, friends. I'm Kevin, pastor for Crosswind Community Church, and I'm glad you've chosen to join me for this word from the Bible. Today, we're going to be looking at a couple of verses from the book of 1 John. 1 John is very near the end of the New Testament, and we're going to be looking at 1 John chapter 3, verses 2 and 3. And I'll be reading this morning from the New Living Translation. Dear friends, we are already God's children, but He has not yet shown us what we will be like when Christ appears. But we do know that we will be like Him, for we will see Him as He really is. And all who have this eager expectation will keep themselves pure, just as He is pure. You know, this time of the coronavirus, this time of stay home, stay safe has afforded me the opportunity, some might not call it an opportunity, but I've taken the opportunity to watch some old movies, some lesser known movies, to watch some older television shows. Matter of fact, right now, I just started watching, just last week, the Dick Van Dyke Show, which I think came on in like 1961, about the time that I was born. And I find it fun to watch some of these old shows and see some of the unknown, if you will, movie stars or television characters. And as an example, in the Dick Van Dyke Show the other day, this young man came in to deliver coffee and donuts. And it turned out that the young man playing that part was Jamie Farr, who would go on to his fame playing the part of Klinger in MASH. And so I think about these things and how fun it is, to see someone, to know them back then, to know them before they were famous, and to know them in their more famous roles. But what's interesting is even with Jamie Farr, that little cameo appearance on the Dick Van Dyke Show, you could hear in his voice and see in his actions mannerisms that were his, that he even carried with him, from that coffee delivery boy part to the part of Corporal Klinger in MASH. And it's kind of interesting to see the traces of what they would become. Well, in the same way, you and I, we bear traces of Jesus. When we become followers of Jesus, when we begin to take on Jesus, He begins a work in us. The scriptures tell us that Jesus begins a work in us, working every single day, every moment of every day to make us more and more like Him. There's a skit from years ago called The Chisel, and I kind of imagine it like that. I imagine Jesus kind of chiseling away at me, getting rid of the pieces and the parts of me that aren't like Him, that I no longer need as a follower of Christ, and helping to reshape and remold those parts of me that Christ sees good in me. And so Jesus is constantly working in you and I to reshape and remold us with the fruits of the Spirit, the long suffering and kindness and holiness. And the good news that we read in this passage from 1 John is that as we journey with Jesus, however long this journey is, as we journey with Jesus, we grow more and more into His image every single day. And someday, as this passage tells us, someday, when Christ comes again, when we spend eternity in Jesus, we will reach that perfect image of Jesus. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope, besides seeing my smiling face, I hope that you find some meaning and relevance in these words that I share with you, and I hope that you'll come back and join me again tomorrow. I plan to do these Monday through Thursday, now through the end of April, and then we'll see what happens when May comes around. But in the meantime, as you continue in your journey with Jesus, as you continue to become more and more like Him, I invite you to look for the blessings of God around you and look for ways in these days of separation physically where we can still be included in people's lives, where we can still be a blessing in others' lives. May God bless you in this day ahead.